really, really pleased, of course, about the conversation I'm about to have with my next guest. He's one of my favorite human beings in all the world. And every time I interview him, I just walk away with such pearls of wisdom. Possibly South Africa's greatest export when it comes to the stage and film. It's a person you've seen on your screens, you've seen him at the theatre, and is back for another run of his fantastic play, Kunene and the King, rated in the top 10 of the best plays produced by the Royal Shakespeare Company over the last 60 years. And I'm looking straight at him. I'm looking at him straight in the eye. I've got all of this information in my head because I'm just such a fan. But John, thank you so much, firstly, for honoring us with your presence in the studio. Good morning.
And thank you very much for inviting me. I mean, it's incredible. Every time you call me, I've got something new to say.
Which is always, of course, a delight
always
for
makes
us.
it very easy. But thank you. I mean, and thank you for 702 in also partnering with me in this project, Kunene and the King at the Joburg Theatre, and the tour around South Africa, because they are our media partners.
And it's absolutely fantastic because I remember, in fact, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, you and I spoke about Kunene and the King, and you were going to go to London. You'd had a run in Cape Town. You were, of course, at that time acting with Sir Anthony Sher, who has since passed on. That must have been a great loss to you.
When I wrote the play 2019, my younger brother, Reverend Kani, he says to me, "What are you doing now?" I said, "I'm writing this play about this guy who is dying of liver cancer. I'm in stage 4, but he then needs to be looked after. So I bring in a black person. Now they're going to live together." So I laugh. I come back 6 months later. He calls me and he says, "You're not going to believe it. I've been having this unbelievable thing I didn't want to tell you. I am dying of liver cancer 4. My brother, the 31st of December 2019, he died. I buried him on the 8th of January, and I opened in the West End on the 12th of January. So the play had such an incredible meaning and presence and urgency, because suddenly now it involved reality.
Yeah.
At the end of the West End run, when I come back to South Africa, because I'm doing 2 movies at the same time.
As Brajon Kani does.
So I have to be in Hawaii, finish Hawaii, because we're doing Murder Mystery 2, Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Then we go to London, and then we go to Paris. So I've got 1 week to finish the Paris one. Right. I'm also doing another installment of The Lion King. I can't say more than that. Please don't ask more. So I'm doing those things at the same time. So then I get this email from Sir Anthony Sher. He says, "Sometimes life imitates art.
Yeah.
This time, art imitates life." I play an actor who's an incredible Shakespearean white actor dying of liver cancer. John, I'm dying of liver cancer.
Oh.
Whew. So I go back and I come back, and now I'm thinking, what are we going to do? I want to do a South African run, especially to open here in Johannesburg. And like pearls of gold, man, pearls, Michael Richards.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to work with this dude. He's an incredible actor with a powerful voice.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely Shakespearean, you know. And he said, "I've been waiting for you all my life to give me this call." So we're now ready to open on Friday, the first preview. Sunday we open at the Johannesburg Theatre, right at the Mandela Theatre stage. At the same time, we're also launching the book, Kunene and the King, published by Jonathan Bowles. It will be available in all bookstores already, in fact.
Now, you describe this play as, in a sense, putting the nation's history on stage, right? Because it's a reflection of the journey of the last 25 years of democracy and how we as South Africans are figuring out how to get along with each other and work together and live together.
When I thought about it structurally, well, how am I going to get these people together? Right, then I thought, 25 years, 2019, we're celebrating 25 years. I did a little research conversation with friends, you know. I asked a black person, 25 years, what are you celebrating? Well, he said, look, the fact that I'm no longer in the hell of apartheid.
Right.
I'm a free citizen. I have lots of challenges. There are things that I haven't got that I thought I would have by now. But on the whole, I give it a more than 50%, the South African success in democracy. Then I ask a friend who is white, I got a long list groceries of all the mess this country is in.
Yeah.
The difference of,
Perspectives.
nothing has changed. Nothing has happened. But in the most negative, when I talk to my white friends, in the most semi-positive, I talk to black friends, I got it. Then I said, I'm going to create a situation. I put these intelligent people, very intelligent. One is top Shakespearean actor. The other one is a top high-care nursing sister in the oncology section.
Yeah.
So now he needs to be looked after because he's been offered to play King Lear. As an actor, even I is waiting for a moment that I'll be offered King Lear. It's a seminal part. When you're young, you want to play Hamlet.
Right.
When you're old, you want to be offered
King Lear.
Lear. So this actor is going to do Lear in Cape Town, but the doctors are not sure he'll make it in another 6 months. But he believes he will. He needs someone to look after him. He phones the nursing agency. The nursing agency says, of course, we'll send someone to look after you in your home. We're sending Sister Kun. That's what he heard, right? I knock on the door, come in, and he calls the police because the black man in my exclusive flat. I got to call the police, you're going to rob me. I said, no, I'm the nurse sent to look after. He says, no, I'm waiting for Sister Kun. I said, no, you didn't listen. Sister Kunene. Not Kun.
And that's when the penny drops.
That's when the penny drops. Oh my God, where are you going to sleep? I said, I'm living with you. The rest, it begins exactly like the old perceptions of black and white meat and their suspicions.
Let me divert you slightly. Your play essentially is around this cantankerous old white man, right? Dealing with his age peer in this environment. Just in the last week, we heard the news of a racial incident at Stellenbosch University. The urinating incident, right? White student urinates on the belongings of a black student. It's one thing to understand our country's history and locate it in the experience of older folks. How do you grapple with born freeze, AMA 2000, as they say, still having those old fights, the same old issues, not going away?
It's the environment of the individual. He is not 30 years old. Therefore, he was born after 1994. Therefore, this attitude is at home. When you sit and you watch television and you see some news by politicians, and the first thing you say is, look, you're white, corruption, running the country down, the economy, we're in a mess, the violence, the rape, the child who's doing grade 1 is a meter away from you and can hear this conversation. The following day on a Monday at school, they meet my little daughter. Now they're all doing grade 1. And what does she see in my daughter? What mom and dad were talking about last night. Now you also, in your home, being a black person, you see the AWB or whatever, the Free Front and all these things. And you make your comment about whites in this country have not changed yet. They have not even understood our generosity in forgiveness. Therefore, your son is a meter away from you. So we need to be conscious and be part of the builders of a new non-racial South Africa in our homes before it manifests itself in educational platforms where suddenly a white young boy goes to urinate. And there's even a video seeing him do this. I'm not interested in the act. I'm interested in his brain. Didn't he realize I'm not doing the right thing? Hasn't he heard about the emergence of a rainbow nation, democracy? Does he know the debt it cost black people for him to be free as a white person? Does his family ever speak about, in a positive way, about what's going on in this country? And it's exactly in a way it is in Kunene and the King. when we talk about together with Michael Richards, the character Jack Morris and Sister Kunene, about what has happened in the country. Jack Morris has a list of all the things we've done wrong. And he asked a very important question. He says, de Klerk walks into negotiations. He walks out as what? As nothing. A prisoner straight from Robben Island, a terrorist, walks out of negotiations and is the president of this country. So I'm saying, what did you expect from those negotiations? At least our country is still governed by us. You understand me? And I'm saying, what did Mandela offer you? He asks me. And I say, your lives. That's all. You're alive. That's the most important gift we gave to you. You are alive. We gave you your dignity, your humanity. You can become part of the global community without the pariah of being a racist, an apartheid, Pentagon, whatever. So these are the things the play deals with. And I am so moved by, in a very sad way, what happened in Stellenbosch. Because I'm a recipient of the honorary doctorate a couple of 2 years ago. And I'm thinking, it's working so hard, these institutions. They work very hard. As Blaine Zeman, they put it so much. It's that the incident happened in a university campus. But actually the problem is a societal problem.
And that's why it's important to have a play like this. It's timely, as your work always is. You must be excited to be back on South African stages after the pandemic. I mean, I can't wait to come through this weekend.
It's, you can play on Broadway, you can play in the West End, you could be successful all over the world. And there is that feeling about, I need to take this home. I wrote this for my people in South Africa. I mean, Jack lives in Killarney. Lunga lives in Orlando, opposite the stadium. So when you say that in London, what is Killarney? What is opposite the stadium? It's the Orlando Stadium. But there's always the beauty of, there's a South African always in the audience who will sort of be the catalyst for the humor, because they recognize the nuances and the subtext and some of the words, and they would laugh, and the English would look aside and say, what did he say?
What was so funny about that?
What's so funny about that? But that's it. So being at the Joburg Theatre, and I've never been at the Joburg Theatre. It's my first time I perform on that stage.
I've seen you many times at the market. As funny you should say that, right?
No, it's just unfortunately the dates couldn't work out between me and the market, and the fact that I have to leave immediately after the season. But what's wonderful also is that I managed to arrange a tour. Straight from the Joburg, we go to the Playhouse in Durban. We go to the Mandela Theatre Complex at Gqeberha, up on Suka Khona Gwedin, Ebai, which is Port Elizabeth, Emambozana. And then we go to Stellenbosch, which or Bloemfontein. We're arranging that.
All right. Well, look, Kunene and the King, the national tour premieres this weekend at the Joburg Theatre. Make sure you get your tickets. All COVID protocols will be observed. So that means, of course, you need to book your tickets to make sure you can get a seat. Brajon Gani, the legend, in action at the Joburg Theatre with Michael Richards for Kunene and the King. As always, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.